You ever notice, and especially in older homes, where the floors kind of bounce underneath you while you're moving through the room or someone else is moving through the room? Well, in this old girl, I found 4 repairs that I can make in order to correct all the issues with it. One of the problems, honestly, I should have caught earlier, but we'll get into that. And the others end up involving being a post, adding a wall, and extending a little wall. Well, this is High Peaks Home, and I'm out of breath. Let's talk about this wall and why I built it. If you look up here, you'll see that the original floor joist, this guy here, is rabbited over or notched over this ledger board. And you know, for traditional style carpentry, that was pretty common, especially on an addition like this section was way back when. So the ledger board is attached to this plate here, and this is attached to the main mud sill, which is in this case an 8x8 timber. Now that's all well and good, but the problem is that it'll peel away from that timber. So I went ahead and lagged everything in during construction just to make sure this stays stable. So what I wanted to do was to fully support these floor joists with a wall. And I did what's called stack framing. So the stud is directly below the floor joist. That way the load is continuous from here to the stud. Now that makes it even more important to make sure that you put your midspan blocking in to keep the studs from buckling one way or the other as the load runs through it. Now it also makes the entire floor system more stable. So that just continues over. We're intersecting a wall. It's at 34 degrees. Why 34? I don't know, but that's what it ended up being. And so now we have our nailer here, stiffening block, and a nailer here. So we can wrap all this with sheetrock and it'll be fine. But I want to make sure I really put a lot of effort into supporting this floor system above, because in that corner there, that's going to be the primary suite bathroom. And when it comes to that, man, you can get a heck of a lot of weight in those areas. So you can imagine having a standalone tub full of water. You have a shower that's encased in tile, and whatever flooring we end up putting in, you got double vanity. There's a tremendous amount of weight in that corner. So I want to make sure that we put as much support into this floor system as possible. I really don't want to have someone have a problem in the future with sheetrock cracking chronically because they wanted to take a bath, right? Boy, do I have news for you. I received the quote for the plumbing, and well, you're looking at Frankie's new plumber. Can't do it. I just can't. Nope, can't do it. Hard no. So what that means is for the last, I don't know, it's been about a week now, I have been diving into learning about plumbing. The differences between T's and Y's and sanitary, and when you have horizontal run versus vertical run with fittings you can use, and the number of vents that you need for a certain number of fixtures and distances for vent to fixture, and yeah, so I'm learning it all. So bad news is this is going to take that much longer. You're welcome, Barry. And the good news is I get to learn something, I guess, and save a small pile of money. We hope. We hope. Also met with code enforcement today. We have a new officer in town, and so I wanted to bring him to the project and introduce myself and all that. And that went really well. I knew him where he used to work, so that was quite easy. And so we talked about plumbing. I told him that I'm not a plumber. I have zero interest in being a plumber, but here we go. And I asked him, how do you want to test it? And so his predecessor liked to do what they call the wet stack test. And at least that's what he called it. And which means I'm going to assemble the entire waste system, and we're going to, well, I'll do the waste and the freshwater side, or potable water. And what we're going to do is we're going to fill the waste side with fresh water from where it connects to the sewer main all the way to the top of the roof vent. And then that way, the entire system will be completely full, and if it has any leaks, it fails. So I think it's a pretty honest test. I mean, I don't know, I'm not a plumber, so I don't know if that's what other jurisdictions do. I'd be interested. You know, put a comment down below and let me know what you guys do where you are. And so yeah, I went through this morning. I drew up a bunch of diagrams for each wet location, and I think I've got it pretty well sorted out. I'm a little scared, honestly, mainly because not having done an entire house before, I've done numerous repairs. I don't know. I just don't know. And that's a little unnerving. And of course, I'm going to share it with all of you. And I welcome any feedback. Any feedback. I welcome it. So if you see me do something like, I don't know, Sean, that doesn't seem right, put it in the old comments. So with that all said, I'm going to jump on plumbing pretty soon. I have a little camping trip scheduled next week, so that might delay things a little bit, but I won't be gone all week. But other than that, I'm also running out of framing to do. I'm now in the basement, as you can kind of see, and I have, well, not that much left to do, which is pretty exciting, I think. That means we're getting that much closer to the sheetrock, and so if you get the plumbing going, get all the electrical done, and then hopefully get them scheduled. I'm a little scared about that too. Anyway, so the other day, a new neighbor popped in. I happen to know her from a long time ago, and she came in and was walking around, and when we were walking through the primary suite, I really felt that floor move. And I hadn't really felt it that much, but we had a ton of material in there before, so, maybe I just wasn't walking in the right spot. And I knew the floor had a slope in it and a sag in it, and I just figured, it's this really old 130-year-old timber. Well, I came down here just to make sure I missed something, and sure enough, I missed something. So this floor joist right here, it's split right there. And they sistered on another piece on the backside, so it's strong enough, it's fine, but it is allowing for that spongy feeling that happened in the floor, and to have a pretty significant dip in the floor. And you can kind of see my laser there. And so I went through and I measured everything, and sure enough, right here it has the most amount of dip. And so what I need to do is kind of tear into this. I think what I really want to do is cut the piece that they put on, cut it off. I'll go upstairs and see if there's any floor parts that are landing right there. But I think that'd be the best repair, is to pull that off, jack it up, put a new joist in right next to it, sister it length, full length, and that'll be the best repair. I'm just about out of time today as I look at my non-watch. Why do people do that? I do it all the time. Look at a watch that doesn't exist. Anyway, so I'll probably tear in this a little bit tonight, and then tomorrow morning, that's where we're going to start. Sounds good? Sounds good. All right, that install went pretty smooth. I just want to verify what the end result is from a measurement standpoint. So we've got the laser run. I don't know if you can see that. See here, we're at 25 and 15/16. So it's about the same as it was. 26 1/8. So yeah, already it's sloping upwards, where before it was slightly down, I mean like half a 16th. So yeah, we're already up, so that's good. Or 26 and 1/8. Yeah. And 27 and 1/4. Now, by no means did this repair solve the fact that the floor is slanted. That can't be fixed unless you change the altitude or elevation of that wall or this header. And those were pre-existing. There's not a whole heck of a lot I can do about that. So, just to make it flatter and not have the big dip in it is a success. And now I'm gonna go upstairs and jump around and see how it feels.
Well, it's safe to say that that's not attached to anything.
That's the new wall we just built. That's the section I just demoed. Now, you can kind of see the flow of how this all looks aesthetically. Obviously, I need to go through and point all this. That's not a big deal. But I still need to have some sort of framing here. You can see the new framing that I put in. You can see the old framing. You can see the ledger board that that floor joist is on. You can see how the floor joist is peeling away from that ledger, and the ledger itself is peeling. So we need to get some support underneath here. That's important. And support under there. And what I'm thinking is, when the timber frame upstairs got redesigned, the elimination of an 8x8 post was made. And I still have that 8x8 post. I think it would look slick right here. Aesthetically, it'd look really nice. And functionally, it'll help stiffen this floor up. I'm sold. Are you sold? I hope so, because it's happening. So we've identified that that ledger board is really the root cause to why the floor bounces as someone walks through it. And now that I've put that wall up, the primary bathroom it's rock solid, man. It's like walking on concrete now. Not quite, I know. But you get the point, right? It's super solid. And now that I put this post in, now this post really made an effect on the bedroom side. So now I know we're really getting close to making me happy on making this floor system pretty solid. And now I have one last thing that I think I can do to make this floor, as good as we can get it without, just building a wall across this whole thing. And I don't want to hide the stone foundation. I like the stone foundation. So what we're going to do is we're going to extend this little wall here into this space so it's even with the bottom of the stair. Originally, aesthetically, I like the idea of having more of a broad sweep entering the staircase, but I think the benefit to what we're gonna gain from building this little wall, I think will outweigh the aesthetics of having that open staircase idea. And let me show you what I'm seeing. To give you perspective, we're in a staircase, and this is that big header. And when you're against this wall here, you can see that it's pretty well flush with all that framing, including that ledger board here. But as you progress over here, now you can see that ledger board is pretty proud of this plane here. Now I know this is dead level because I hung it. So what I'm gonna do is come in here and I'm gonna jack this up as hard as I can to try to get that to go up. And then we're gonna extend this wall over and support that. Before we started building the little wall, I went ahead and set the laser up and took a measurement. We had 25 and 13/16 of distance between that floor joist and the laser line. And now we have the wall built. The jack is still in, and we'll see kind of a before and after taking the jack out. So now after, we are at 26.5. So that means we raised it 11/16 of an inch. So we'll take the jack out and we'll see if that changes anything. Basically, it dropped just shy of a 1/16 of an inch. So we're still gained by, what would that be, 5/8 of an inch. So we raised this system up 5/8 of an inch, and now I'll grab you and I can show you visually what the difference is. What we're looking at is the relationship between this and this piece here. And you can still just barely see it. Put you in plane. There it is. Yeah, you really can't see it at all. That's great. Now, well, first I better take my purse off. I don't want my tools flying everywhere. All right. Way nicer. It's amazing what basically one stud can do for an entire system. Now I just need to find a neighbor to kind of walk through here and see what I feel then. It's even more accurate. 4 solutions to 1 problem, and I couldn't be happier. That floor system is nice and solid. Functionality down here is going to be great. And next week, we're going to talk about a comment that one of you made that raised a question in my mind. Well, the short version of the story is, he was right and I was wrong. Locals say it's fine. State says it's not. Well, I guess you'll have to wait till next week to find out what that's all about. And if you like this video, hit that subscribe button, hit that little bell button so you know when the next video comes out. And if you want to see where this all began, go ahead and check out this video. Until next week, thank you for stopping by High Peaks Home and the Journey of the Abandoned House, episode 31. Yep, 31.
You want anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. Better see with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go.